Hey guys, in this video I will be showing you how I created these 3 spring inspired projects using Teckwrap Crafts puff heat transfer vinyl and my Cricut. I was really excited when they sent me these vinyls to test out for you guys because it was actually my first time playing with puff HTV and I've been so curious to see how it works. So these projects were a lot of fun for me to make, and I ended up using 5 different colors for these projects, but there are actually 16 colors total in the collection, and I do believe they also sell the puff HTV in a sheets pack and a glow in the dark version as well. I will be sure to link the website and products down below in the description box, as well as my discount code for 5% off. And I think YouTube changed how to open or expand the description box on a video. I think it used to be like a little arrow or something, and now it's more or show more. But you would just click on that and then you will find all of the details and all of the links there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the first project. In Cricut Design Space, I have my first project on the canvas highlighted, and then the rest of them are hidden in the layers panel. I'm working one at a time. I'm going to change the color to be all the same because I want my Cricut to cut all of the pieces in one load rather than loading my mat 5 different times for the same project. I'm just going to cut the strips of vinyl and arrange them on the cutting mat. I make sure to mirror my design just like regular HTV. You want to mirror your design, and then for the cut settings I'm just going to select the everyday iron-on. I did a test cut and this was perfect. And then next, I just take my strips of HTV and place them color side or shiny side down on my mat. And I want these to line up with where I had arranged the vinyl to be cut in Cricut Design Space. So that's all I'm going to do here. And then I'm just using a little tool to kind of adhere that down to the mat. After my machine is done cutting, I unload it, and then I'm just going to weed directly on top of my cutting mat. It acts as an extra hand, and I didn't used to like weeding directly on top of my mat because I was always worried like my weeding hook would scratch or damage my cut mat. But since using a pin pen, I have a lot more control, I feel like, and I don't scratch up or damage my mat. And weeding this HTV, this puff HTV, was just like weeding any other HTV. It was very easy. It weeded beautifully, like peeling a sunburn. If you know, you know. But yeah, I really enjoy the weeding process the most when I'm crafting with vinyl. All right, so now it's time to heat press the puff HTV onto the t-shirt. This is a 60/40 cotton poly blend that I just picked out from my daughter's closet. It was blank and I thought I could go ahead and make her a cute shirt for spring. And I actually shopped my closets, or like my space, for all 3 of these projects, so I didn't have to go out and buy anything, which is always nice, and I've been trying to do that a lot more recently with my crafts. But as you see here, I'm just trimming these down so that I can press them all at once, because I don't want to go back and press them one at a time because I feel like it will mess up the vinyl, especially because I've never worked with it before. Sometimes you can get away with pressing it for 5 seconds and then going back and doing another layer, but with this puff vinyl, I didn't want to do that, and I'm glad I didn't, because when I tell you guys that this came out perfectly, you're not going to believe me, so let me just show you. So I'm just lining them all up, and I did need to use some heat resistant tape because this carrier sheet does not want to stick at all. So I just used some Teflon tape, and I did get this from Amazon along with the Teflon sheet. It came in like a bundle, so I will be sure to link that in my Amazon storefront down below. But I'm just lining everything up and then using that heat transfer tape, and I'm not really concerned about it looking perfect as far as like the taping. It's just simply to hold it down to the shirt so that it doesn't move around when I apply the heat plate. I have my heat press set to 315 degrees for 15 seconds, and then I cover my vinyl with a Teflon sheet, and then I'm going to apply firm pressure for those 15 seconds. And I did this in normal speed to show you guys like how easy this part went. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting it to go this smoothly for some reason. But you can already see the puff. It's crazy. Like I said, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting this. Definitely wasn't expecting it to puff up this much, just based off of what I've seen from other crafters using like a puff HTV, not necessarily this brand. But I was pretty amazed, you guys. Like, this is so cool, and it's so puffy, so textured. And again, it was like the easiest heat press I've ever done. Like, no tension at all when peeling back the carrier sheet. It just came off so easily, and it's gonna look so cute on my daughter this spring. I love the colors. The one thing I will say is like the little tiny details in like the flowers, there was like a little tiny heart in the center. I don't think this HTV is going to be good for small details like this. It's going to be better suited for a bigger design. Like the letters came out perfectly, but like those tiny intricate designs I would probably stay away from with this vinyl because of the fact that it puffs up so much. So when you look at it, it almost looks like it's going to be the texture of like a shag carpet. Your mind kind of plays tricks on you, but it actually has like a rubber feel to it. It's 100% polyurethane, so it's not going to be like a fabric texture, but the best way I can describe it is it's almost like the same texture that you would feel on the bottom of like a pair of hospital socks or like grippy socks. So it's kind of like that same feel, but again, it looks like it's going to be like a fabric texture. It's just a really cool, innovative vinyl, heat transfer vinyl. For the second and third projects, I'm just going to follow the same exact steps that I did in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to make sure I mirror my image. I'm going to use the everyday iron-on setting. I'm going to place my vinyl shiny side down or color side down on my cut mat. I'm going to weed everything out, and then I'm going to do the same heat press at 315 degrees for 15 seconds, but the only difference with the second and third projects is that I wanted to try out different fabric materials. So I am going to be using 100% polyester for the tote bag, and then I'm using a 50-50 cotton poly blend for the sweatshirt. So I will go ahead and meet you back at the heat press. All right, so now I'm going to heat press this design on this tote bag, which again is 100% polyester. I really wanted to test out what this vinyl would look like on different materials. And again, I want to make sure that I press this all at the same, these colors all at the same time. I don't want to go back and press those flowers later. So to do this, I just cut out a spot where the flowers will fit. And I'm also going to make sure to trim up around those flowers. And just like the first project, I need to use my heat resistant tape to make sure this stays put when I apply the heat plate. And just like before, I'm going to take my Teflon sheet, cover my design, and then heat press at 315 degrees for 15 seconds using firm pressure. And I'm also going to do a warm peel on this as well, and this is how the project turned out. It's super cute, but I will say it's not as puffy as the t-shirt, and that's because, again, this is 100% polyester, whereas the t-shirt was a 60-40 cotton poly blend. So it did puff up, but not as much as the t-shirt. So that's just the different variations that you're going to get, I guess, with using, or you're going to get different variations using different materials. This sweater that I pulled out of my closet is a 50-50 cotton poly blend, and you're going to see that it is puffy, but again, it's not as puffy as the t-shirt that has the higher cotton count. And it actually says on the Teckwrap Craft website that it recommends using 100% cotton. So I can't wait to actually use 100% cotton t-shirt and see how much puffier it gets, because that 60-40 blend was super puffy. So again, I'm just following the same steps as the first two projects, and I'm using these little flowers that I had used as my test cut. I didn't want them to go to waste, and I thought they would look really cute, so I used a couple of them and placed them around this design. This sweater turned out so cute. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while because I'm like the biggest introvert, and I always like sit there by myself when I pick up my daughter from school, and I try to talk to people, but I have a hard time putting myself out there. So I thought this project turned out super cute, and again, it was puffy, but not as puffy as that higher cotton count t-shirt. But this puffy HTV was really fun to work with. Probably my favorite HTV of all time. I'm not even gonna lie. It was so easy to work with, so fun. I can't wait to do more projects. I already have like 5 different projects in mind that I want to do. Some like trendy things that I've been seeing all over Pinterest. So I can't wait to play with this more. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, I will link all of the products that I use down below in the description box, as well as my discount code. So yeah, until my next video, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.